Hi guys, welcome to Pretty Good Gaming. He's Gaz, I'm Henry. It's October the 15th. We've got a new Black Ops sales figures story, and of course your daily dose of nuggets. But first, some Red Dead Redemption news.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is a huge game. The biggest that developers Rockstar have ever created, in fact. The game has been in production for a full 7 years now, and it is the most anticipated game of the year by a long way, regardless of what some internet polls would suggest. The script for just the main story is some 2,000 pages long, and that's just the main story, without the side missions and any additional dialogue included. For context, the full script for this year's branching story-based Sony exclusive Detroit Become Human was also 2,000 pages. Like, for the whole thing. The animations in RDR2 took a total of 2,200 days of motion capture work. That's 6 whole years if you count them consecutively. 1,200 actors worked on the production, of which 700 of them have dialogue. Dan Houser, producer at Rockstar, saying, "We're the biggest employers of actors in terms of numbers of anyone in New York. By miles." The finished game includes 300,000 animations, although it isn't clear how many of these animations are for horse testicles, because apparently that's a thing. The game also features 500,000 lines of dialogue, 500,000 lines of dialogue, with even the non-playable characters having up to 80 pages of dialogue each. Not everything produced for the game made it to the final cut, however. Reportedly 5 hours of the 65-hour game were dumped. The dumping includes a second love interest for protagonist Arthur Morgan, and whole missions that were also removed due to technical reasons. This information comes from an article in Vulture. It was also stated in the article that they were working 100-hour weeks to get this game complete, and you can see by some of these figures why, because there's just so much in this game. You can consider this as an open world game with 300,000 animations, 500,000 lines of dialogue. I don't think I've ever spoken 500,000 lines of dialogue in my whole combined life. That's a lot of dialogue is what I'm trying to say, right?
He's ancient. He's spoken a lot. Talked a lot of shit.
Talking about me.
One of these areas which featured the most improvement and additions over the previous installment is the weapons in the game. The game will reportedly have over 50 weapons, all of which will be fully customizable. This applies to revolvers and rifles, which can be outfitted with both aesthetic and practical changes. Using a variety of materials, such as different woods and metals, which can be varnished and engraved, the player can customize their arsenal to create a truly unique outlaw in this Western epic. Sound very outside Xbox right now.
You're really on the ball today with that.
It's the mango energy drink, man. It's fucking going. Scopes, barrels, and grips can be added or changed on different weapons to alter their performance and stats. This reinforces what Rockstar have already boasted about each weapon feeling distinctive, meaning that players have to decide on the right tool for the task. You will have to maintain your firearms this time, however, as in Red Dead Redemption 2, weapons can degrade over time and even jam while shooting. Additionally, players will also now have the option to choose different ammo types. The examples Rockstar give are Split Point, which probably deals extra damage to unprotected enemies, High Velocity, which will help take out those rapid moving targets, and Explosive, which pretty much does exactly what it says on the tin. These new ammo types will be available for purchase from in-game stores, but can also be crafted with certain materials. Red Dead Redemption 2 will launch on October the 26th for PS4 and Xbox One. You may have to clear some space on your hard drives, however, with the install size for the game coming in at 105GB and 88.57GB respectively. We're assuming due to, all those horse bollock animations. Yeah, most games focus on little the horse's mane will blow in the wind or something like that. Rockstar, nah, fuck it. Bollocks swinging, tumbleweeds rolling, bollocks rolling. There you go.
It is great news in terms of weapons for me personally. Wooden weapons, man. Give me wooden weapons. The fact you can customize them, right? You can engrave them as well. You can make them out of all different woods, change the barrel out, change different parts. Oh man, I can't wait for that. And the fact that you've got different ammunition types as well I don't know whether I like that. I don't know.
It doesn't feel as Western and as authentic. But that may explain why in one of the earlier trailers, Morgan shoots the underside of a carriage and the whole thing blows up. I mean, I'm pretty sure they didn't have gas-powered horse-drawn carriages, but I mean, I don't know all the history. But
it may well have been TNT on the bottom. It might be Dead Islands and TNT or something like that. Yeah.
Kabam!
That'd be cool. But the fact that you can craft ammunition, but there's 3 different types.
At least 3 different. There might be some others as well.
Yeah, which is a problem for me, right? Because you've got all the different calibers of ammunition, right? There's so many different types of ammunition already, and then you're multiplying that by at least 3. I mean, how much space is it going to take in your inventory? I remember that being a problem problem in Fallout New Vegas, where there's just loads of ammunition, it all takes up your inventory, and there's so many different types of it, and you can craft it and all that sort of stuff. It was a problem. One of the better parts of Fallout 4 was the fact that there was no inventory space taken up by ammo, and there was just one version of each of the bullets, which was a bit of a godsend. So I'm still reserving judgment on how it's going to work in Red Dead Redemption 2. Let's just hope it's not a micromanagement nightmare, which is what it sounds like to me. What's your favourite weapon? Henry, right? The Henry repeater.
Yeah,
Maybe it's got to be the Henry.
Without not joking at all, genuinely, the best gun in Red Dead Redemption 1 is the Henry repeater. Decent range, decent power, decent reload speed and all that crap. You can shoot a bunch of guys, reload quickly. You've got ones like the Evans repeater, which might have the maximum amount of rounds in your magazine.
Goes all day, right?
Can go all day.
All day.
It's all stamina. The quality of the performance. I might not be there all night, but you'll have a great time. Alright folks, get ready for some Daily Nuggets.
A new feature documentary about Rockstar's insanely successful GTA 5, titled The $1 Billion Game, is said to be in the works. The UK-based production company Salon Pictures will be developing the project with director Rob Ryan.
Red alert Command & Conquer fans. EA's Command & Conquer Remaster will not, we repeat, will not have microtransactions.
Back in September, Bethesda filed their trademark for something called Redfall, leading fans to believe that this is connected to the next Elder Scrolls title. Games Radar have now theorized that this could suggest that the Elder Scrolls 6 takes place during a deadly plague. It's as good as guess as any. I mean, it could be anything like Redfall. I don't even want to say what else it could be.
Fuck's sake, man.
What?
See, I hadn't even considered what you're implying.
What? What do you think I'm implying?
Nothing, because we are grown men and we don't talk about that thing.
Get your mind out the gutter. That wasn't what I was on about. God almighty. Pretend to be all posh and that.
The enormous space-based MMO Star Citizen raised another $1 million just 4 days after launching alpha version 3.3. This brings the total for the crowd-funded space shooter to a staggering over $195 million.
In case you hadn't seen enough Bowsette memes, there is now a mod that makes them playable in Breath of the Wild, because of course there is.
John Carmack settles for $22.5 million with ZeniMax after he sued the company over what he felt was owed from when ZeniMax acquired id Software back in 2009.
PS4 users are reporting that they are receiving messages that result in controller and sound failures with console resets and error loops. The suggested solutions include a factory reset of the system or deleting the message via the PlayStation Mobile Companion app or in browser.
Senran Kagura, the latest title from Xseed Games, has been delayed on PS4 after Sony refused to release the game until the developers removed Intimacy Mode.
Project Warlock is an old-school shooter in the same vein as the original Doom, Hexen and Wolfenstein. It got a launch trailer ahead of its upcoming release on Thursday the 18th.
Microsoft and Mojang are currently running a contest where the winner will have their own cat added to the next update of Minecraft.
Try that again, but this time say Meowjang. The World Ends With You. Final Remix got a launch trailer alongside its Nintendo Switch release on Friday last week. So that's it for your news nuggets for today. If you want a link to anything we've just mentioned or any of the stories that we mentioned in today's video, they are down in the description of this video.
Next up, we've got a debate about digital and physical sales in Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Call of Duty Black Ops 4 launched over the weekend, and while there's plenty of discussion to be had about the lack of single player and just how good all the different multiplayer modes are, perhaps the most interesting thing to come of it was its sales. The game saw the worst physical sales at UK retail for the franchise in 11 years, selling 59% fewer copies than the previous installment in the Black Ops franchise. Despite this, Black Ops 4 quickly went on to become the second best-selling game of the year in the UK, with the top spot being held by FIFA 19. It is possible, however, that Black Ops 4 has finally turned the tide on the debate about digital versus physical sales. The latest installment in the Call of Duty franchise has actually been smashing records on the digital storefronts. In the face of lackluster physical sales, according to Push Square, Black Ops 4 had the biggest ever launch for a game on the PlayStation Store, breaking a similar record on the Microsoft Store. There has been a growing shift towards buying games digitally, and perhaps when more detailed figures are released for Black Ops 4, we'll have a better idea of how much this shift has grown in 2018.
So this isn't really a new phenomenon because we've seen exactly the same thing happen with AC Odyssey a couple of weeks ago and FIFA 19, with both of them having significantly fewer physical copies sold, but they're still doing massive numbers for the franchises, so that suggests that digital's still pulling further and further ahead. I still like to have a physical copy personally because I like having the tangible thing, the box with the art and stuff, and I miss game manuals as well. We never get manuals anymore.
Yeah.
You'd have like your controls, but then also little character notes and story things.
Yeah,
well, it was just cool.
And maps.
And maps.
It's something that I had in the original box version of Red Dead Redemption.
Yes.
Was a map of and it was so good. It was awesome. But you won't get that this time around.
It'll be in like the super duper fancy pantsy collector's special limited metal comes with a real gun edition.
Without a copy of the game.
Yeah, no copy of the game. Here's the game world you won't be playing because you ain't got the game.
So that is it for your daily dose of gaming news. We'll be back again tomorrow. If you want to be notified when that video goes live, hit the bell on this video. Thanks for watching. Until then, bye for now. I do talk a lot of shit. That is true.
Red alert! Red alert! I can't maintain that. Cradle bollocks.
Don't do that.
Work the bell. Horse bollocks. It was weirdly satisfying getting the throwing knife and then doing a close quarters kill because you really like shove it in them.
Yeah. You like killing with knives.
I do.